Amanda talked about the danger of a single story in her TED Talk a few years ago. I want to talk about why the danger of a single story is a killer of businesses, why it is so lethal and so dangerous. Hello, lionesses. Welcome to the Lioness Grotto, a space for women founders and entrepreneurs to share their journey, be encouraged, know you're not alone, you are limitless. My name is Anna Njoroge, founder and CEO of Why There Are Beauty. So let's talk about how to make sure our businesses do not fall into the lethal downward spiral of a single story. Grab a glass of water, cup of tea, cup of coffee, and let's chat. Welcome. What is the danger of a single story in business, and why should we be diligent to ensure that we're checking ourselves at every step of the way to make sure that does not become our story? A single story is a story where you believe you're infallible. You're the founder, the entrepreneur. It's your vision, it's your idea, and nothing else matters. You don't listen. You don't look at how the market is acting. You don't listen to your employees. You don't listen to your customer. And you believe that you and only you can actually make this business successful. And that's dangerous because that's a story of you. Yes, are you the vision holder? Definitely. Did you start it? Yes. But we also have blind points, many. And we need to know what that are and bring other people into our businesses that can be honest. And we also have to be ready to listen if we are to survive and grow. Sometimes we actually are the ones who limit ourselves. I sit here and I might tell myself, it's my idea. I brought Why There Are Beauty to life, and I know, hey, ladies, it is an emotional journey. And even when someone tells you that things may not be going right, it can be directly feel like you're being attacked. Your vision is being attacked. Your plan is being attacked. But we have to learn to detach the emotion and the facts, the logic, and be ready to hear. But you also have to have the wisdom to separate good advice, criticism that's meant to help you from the noise. And I think that's sometimes where we struggle. We think everyone that's speaking differently from the vision that we are seeing, it is noise. They're not looking out for us. But they are. I remember when I was going into Why There Are Beauty and we decided our first product to market was going to be fragrances, body mists. I love scents. For me, it has been a passion. I used to spray my mother's perfumes all over myself since I was like 3 years old. Yeah, and I would think that she didn't notice. Yeah, I'm sure she totally did. And when it comes to scents, I'm an outlier. I do not fall what global standards are. And I remember putting all these scents out there that I wanted to create. And a friend of mine, he happened to be a friend of mine and very, very honest at the time, who understood the industry very, very well. He told me, it is not about you. You're creating a business. It is not a hobby. So you need to follow what the standards are and what majority of the people love in fragrances. And I was taken aback. At first, I'm like, what do you mean? And I am so glad he had the boldness to tell me this. And I am so happy I heard him. So listening, we have to learn this skill. For me, it started in my corporate career in corporate America. And I remember the first boss that ever told me, Anna, You don't listen. And I was like, what do you mean? But I was ready to hear it because I had embarked on a self-awareness journey. I remember I was in therapy at the time, and even my therapist had told me I don't listen. So I learned to start listening. And sometimes it's hard. I still fall trapped to not listening. You're trying to talk to me and I am talking over you and you're telling me one thing, and sometimes I'm trying to justify to you why you should listen to me. But because I'm aware that for me that's a pitfall, I will step back and listen and decide to take the good that can help the business. I have learned to listen to advisors around me. I have learned to listen to our customers. We are going to be 6 years old in July, and in a very tough time to start a business because 2 years in, actually about 1 year in, we started going in through a lot of challenges. We had regulatory issues. We had to start a factory and going to build a factory about 5 years before we had projected. This was in 2019, and then 2020 was COVID, and then 2021. So there's been challenges, but we're going 6 years strong. The one thing I have learned is listen to our customers, listen to our employees, listen to the people around me. Then take that information, disseminate it, because that tells me, am I on the right track? Am I completely lost in my head about this idea that I have of creating a successful business, or what product lines we should go into, but the customer really doesn't care? They want a different product. The product you brought into market is not the right one for them. And sometimes it happens. I remember we brought a fragrance in and we had gotten really good reviews at the beginning when we were testing it out. But when it went to market, it flopped. So discerning and not holding yourself accountable is not the word I want to use. What I say, don't beat yourself up. Some things are going to fail. Sometimes you're going to listen and you're going to fail. But what you need to be open to is not your story alone. It's listening to feedback, your employees. Most of the times they're actually the ones out there and listening to the customer. And sometimes you are so busy, you don't have time to hear it. Or you're so stressed, when they come at you with it, you might actually snap or just tune them out. But learn to listen, because that is how you will thrive. That is how you will grow. It is a business. And this is what to remember. When you start a business, it literally does stop being about you. It becomes about your customer. So one of the biggest thing is listen to the customer, listen to the market. What do you want? What do they want? Not you. You doesn't matter. And if you still keep going on a trajectory of this story that you think your customer wants, but that's not where they are, you are going to fail. So learn to listen to different stories that apply to the market that you're in, and weave them through with your own story, or take those stories as a vision founder and adjust this vision to incorporate what your customer actually wants. So listen to other stories. Learn to look for different stories that apply to your business, to your industry, and don't think just because you founded it, it was your idea, an amazing idea indeed, because if you're already in business and it's already working, yes, it was a great idea. But whatever it is you had planned, your customer has needs. It wasn't a hobby. You went into it to make money, to make a business, to make an impact. Whatever your reason was, we all want to grow. I don't think any of us go into business wanting to fail. No matter what your why is, we all have one thing in common. You want to thrive, you want to grow. And if you want to thrive and you want to grow, you also have to recognize that you don't have all the answers. And if you stick to your story alone, you will fail. I've seen it. We all have seen it. And even now, as I listen, I'm in the finance space and I'm listening and I give advice in my consultancies and I'm listening to other businesses, and even I can see myself for pitfall to this, because sometimes somebody comes to you with an idea or an observation and you become very emotional because you're really, really attached to this business. So, yes, is your story great? Yes. But is it the only story? No. And if you only stick to that one story, you will fall and not be able to get up. I know. It sounds ominous, but it is true. And we've seen many businesses that have taken their own story and stuck to it and refused to hear what the market had to say. Blockbuster. We all remember. If you lived in the US, no one ever thought that Blockbuster would no longer exist. Kodak was once a thriving business. Ames and so many other businesses. And businesses that have gone to the blink but come back because they decided to listen. So do not fall prey to the single story. A single story does not give you all the information needed to make decisions. It actually creates pitfalls. So be wary of the single story. Learn to listen. Be wise enough to be able to disseminate that information to what is useful and what is noise. Listen to your customer always. After all, you decided to go to business to give them a service or a product. But if they're not feeling it, they're going to stop buying it. Listen. Don't fall danger to a single story. Go thrive. If you haven't subscribed, please do, so we can keep having these conversations. Be limitless, girl.